if there is one thing that will decide your child's life more than marks, more than IQ, more than skills, it is their emotional intelligence. It is not about what they know, but how they respond to life. Right? How you're going to respond to life. It's what will be decided by the EQ. Your relationships. How, if the difficult situations are there, how you are going to face difficult people. Your relationships. Whatever you name it, it dependent on the emotional intelligence. How you see the world. How you interpret the people, their responses, their reactions. How you handle failures in your life. Everything is dependent on this. So there is a story which goes like this. A man used to see outside his window, and what he used to see there, so much of muck, dirt all around. And he didn't know, he used to wonder why these administration guys, they are not putting in efforts, why they are not trying to clean anything. And he used to complain and curse every single thing. One fine day, a friend comes and he looks at the mirror, at the window. He picks up a cloth and cleans the glass. And he says, why don't you clean it up? He cleans the glass and suddenly everything outside becomes neat and clean. So it is not what the reality is, it's how you see the reality that is important. And that's about it, and that's your emotional intelligence. It is the lens that you are having, that you are wearing, through which you are looking at everything. So, your entire life, as sometime we have discussed, we all have different way of looking at things. Our perceptions about life is different. Correct? So what is that perception? It is the lens that you are wearing. It is your experiences. It's your EQ. It's your emotional strength. Now some of us tend to confuse emotional strength and mental strength. That is one clarity that we all need. What is mental strength? Most of us are focusing on our mental strength. And emotional strength we are getting confused with. What is EQ? So some of us define EQ as how well you manage your emotions, how well you control your emotions. That's not what EQ is. That is more of your mental strength. So your mental strength is about your willpower. We all need willpower. How much you get hurt, yes, that is your EQ. You still get hurt, but you get over it pretty soon. And that's why you will see some people, they are calm, cool, and they are like, they will take situation, okay, these things do happen. And there are others who overreact. What is that overreaction? When you are reacting very strongly to a situation or to someone saying something, that is your EQ. How well you are responding to the situation. So you might get hurt, you might not feel good about it, but you are able to bounce back. You are calm, you are stable, and then you are having good control over your mind, or your senses, over your wits, and your response is pretty good. And that's about this. That's the EQ. And as I said, this is what is going to define your life. So today, if you see the word is very bad, it's because of EQ. If you see the word is good, it's because of EQ. That may not be the reality, because there are all sort of people who are around you. All sort of things which are happening. If you are struggling with your relations, one of the main reasons is your EQ. It's not necessarily the people around. It's also how you are looking at it, how you are responding to it. And many times when our EQ is low, and something happens which is not desirable, because of your reaction, you make matter worse. How many of you think you have done that? Type in, I have done it. Yes. Type in there in the chat if you have done something similar. Because of you overreacting to a situation, you have made the matters worse. I used to do it a lot. And let me tell you, I used to fight with a lot of people. lot of people. Anyone coming across, I used to find fault and I used to fight. Why? Because of the low EQ. And no one could help me understand. I could not see the situation as it is. And I used to always find fault with people. Because of that, I suffered a lot. In terms of everything and anything that you can imagine. My parents did their job whatever best they could. Right? Whatever they could, they did that. But what they did not understand, that they need to help me develop high EQ. And I suffered. Now, even when I grew up, I did not understand it well. And it went on for another 10-20 years. So it is not only about them, it is not only the circumstances, it is my inability also. It is only when I started realizing my life changed, my responses changed, my relationship changed, my health changed, physical health, mental health, emotional health. Everything changed. And what changed? What led to this change was my EQ. So whatever you are going through today, one of the main reason is your EQ. And that's why we need to understand this important significance and make sure our children have high EQ. Mental strength, let me repeat, I am hurt, but I'll push through. And there'll always be a limited reservoir of that. They're going to be limited. One fine day, you will run out of it if you are totally relying on that. And you will see there are people who are like, I'm very strong, and they're crying within. I can push through. And suddenly one fine day they collapse. And you wonder what happened. I knew this person to be very strong because that person ran out of that, whatever that content that was there in that reservoir, that mental strength. They completely run out of it and then they end up taking the extreme step. Whereas EQ is about emotional strength. I am hurt, but that's okay. It's fine. These things do happen. I am calm. I am stable. That's it. Right? That's about it. Now if you see your child misbehaving, if your child getting angry, if your child is getting, not doing the thing he or she is supposed to be doing, it is not who he is. Right? Your child is not reacting to the word, not reacting to the situation. This is not his behavior. This is your child reacting to the lens that you have given to him or her. And now also remember, every time you are reacting, what is it? You are creating a dent on the child. How you respond, how you react, whether you scold your child, whether you hit your child, everything that you do, it is creating a dent on the child mind. It is your childhood that defines who you are. So today, if sometimes suddenly you would end up getting anxious, why that is? There is some fear, deep-rooted fear. Where is it coming from? It's coming from your childhood. Right? And that is what many of us are giving to our children. That's exactly what many of us are doing to our children. Every time you are reacting, you are saying something which should not be said. It's basically you are leaving a dent on the child's mind. Something you need to be very mindful of. Why we are asking you to be very mindful of, your disrespect score. It's because of this reason. Tomorrow, how your child will behave will depend on many of these things. And I keep telling you, when you tell your child directly or indirectly without you realizing, it is that seed that, it's the seed that you are sowing. And that seed is what is going to grow into a plant or a healthy tree. It is the seed which you need to be aware of. So your child is struggling, one single reason, it is the EQ. And if you can work on that, things get sorted. That's how powerful this is. It is about the lens that we are wearing or we are making our children wear. And that's the reason I say this is the most important thing. Now, it's not that easy for you to work on it. Right? You cannot simply change the lens. If your child is very young, yes, you can be mindful of it. And then that lens will not get dirty. It will not get that difficult. You will not face that much of problem. You are laying the foundation, the right foundation from early on. It's a good thing. Now, if your child is grown up, you need to be patient. You need to be calm. You may see different kind of symptom. There are different kind of problem which you might be facing. But all that it boils down to is the EQ of the child. Are you willing to work on it? If yes, you have your answers. Analyze when you face a problem. Is it EQ? The answer to that in 90% of the cases is yes. You name a problem. It all boils down to one thing. That thing. EQ. Low confidence, EQ. Low self-esteem, EQ. Poor focus, EQ. Aggression, EQ. What else? Type in there. Child becoming socially inactive, shy, EQ. You are not assertive, that is EQ. What else? What else is there? Your performance is bad. If you discuss and understand where it will come down to EQ. It's not your ability. Unable to make decisions, EQ. All these things are pointing to one and only one thing. And if you have understood this, your life becomes easier.